Hello everyone, and welcome to this unboxing video for Imperial Assault's expansion, Jabba's Realm. This is the fourth expansion to the Fantasy Flight game Imperial Assault. Um, which is set within the Star Wars setting, mostly taking place, whose campaign mostly takes place around the time of the original trilogy. So, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, which this one seems to probably take place just before. The start of. This is the second standalone expansion. While it will mix with the rest of the game, every other expansion that there are odd expansions generally requires either the base game or now one of the two standalone own expansions to work with, but they all mix together. So right, um, we've got the actual you know rulebook, which I'm assuming will have the campaign in it and everything, because here is the normal campaign tracker. Me and my friends generally use an app, but honestly, if you can get this photocopied, this is really easy to use. Makes some of this there's not really a lot of room on the back of these. I still recommend an app, but whatever works for you. We've got the skirmish map. Skirmish is so unlike a lot of the campaign miniature board games, this one has both a campaign co-op and an entirely different PvP game that plays very similarly and uses the same exact model. So you really, when you get this game, you're getting two separate games. And the skirmish maps are what's used for the PvP. So we've got our normal stickers. This is to designate the different models. They're numbered and everything, color coded. I actually just paint my models, so I paint the colors on the base. We've got the normal boards and everything. I'll get back to that later. And here's all the rest of the stuff. So, wow, that's a decent bag of minis. I'll get back to that later, although there's one really big mini in there that's in pieces. See if I can hold it together. Most of their larger minis just fit together like a puzzle rather than needing to be glued together. So, we've got the... Oh, let's start with this, actually. The big reason I love getting new expansions to this game, the playable characters. This one comes with three. I believe Return to Hoth, the other standalone, did, and the Twin Shadows and Bespin Gambit, which are the two mini expansions, as I refer to them, came with two each. So we've got Shyla Var. That's not Vader. Vardar. Mm. Daughter of Mandalore. For those of you that don't know, Mandalore or Mandalorians is the human-like race that Boba Fett is from. Um, so that's cool. Vinto Harida. Hmm. Reckless Vigilant or Vigilant. That is the they appear to be the same race as Greedo. Um, doesn't matter who shot first. Han still walked away. Greedo is the guy at the bar for those that aren't familiar. Um, oh, I don't actually know the name of this race, but Anar Koma, Furious Bodyguard. I recognize the race. I'm not familiar with the name of it. Star Wars is really, really deep. um, so that's both, here's their front side. The back side isn't all that much different, but it's still basically the same. It's still basically the same thing and is an important difference. Um, and then we've got a bunch of cards. So first off, we've got the skirmish cards. I won't bother getting into those too much unless people want me to, in future videos, want me to get into the skirmish details. I have played the skirmish. I've actually played in a tournament, tried playing in a second one. couldn't get enough people. Um, Condition cards. These are always nice to have. My friends that I play with, we prefer these over the tokens. The tokens are nice for designating things, but having the cards around, it actually states like what's on, like what that actually represents. Um, a new, I forget. Ooh, there's two. I don't know what the names of the two individual ones are, but so the Imperial player also gets their own. Well, first off, the regular players for each of their characters gets a deck of cards that they spend XP on between missions for their abilities. The Imperial players get one, or the Imperial player gets one for the whole thing. Most of the expansions only come with one. This one came with two. I could be wrong if Hoth only came with one, but I know the mini expansions only come with one each. Those had Jabba and Vader on the back. So one's probably involving bounty hunting, and the other one is, one's probably involving Imperial intimidation, and the other one's probably involving not so. Well, let's just say they're shady deals. We've got some companion cards. We've got the little guy that. Well, we've got the droid, a droid. I don't know what kind of droid this is. Oh, it says right there, a pit droid from Phantom Menace. That was on Tatooine. And then we've got the little guy that is um, next to Jabba and constantly cackling. Um, I think that is actually him and not a or her. I don't know. It and not just another one of its race. Then we've got the specific character decks that I mentioned earlier, which also include their starting weapon. Um, and then they're just, easily identifiable by they are on the back of those cards. There's the third one. We've got our equipment that players can buy with credits between missions. They're set in 3 different levels. And then a couple extra things added to the what can be gained from crates during a mission, and some rewards. Well, they have medals on the back. They're a reward from side missions. Those can go to players or to the rebels or the Imperials. Um, they're not, hey, winner gets it. It's the mission is designed for if such and such succeeds, this is what they get, and then the other side is trying to stop that. So then we move on to the larger cards. Normal deck of 52 size card. Fantasy Flight makes a lot of games with this really small card. Like this is what you see on your poker card size. This is what Fantasy Flight makes all sorts of different kind of sizes, and I don't mind honestly. We've got some agenda cards, I believe they're called. The Imperial player gets to make up a deck of these and gets to draw from them between missions for different effects to mess with players. We've got the various character cards. These are single cards. They're either what the Imperial player will use for their figures during the campaign, or they are skirmish versions of campaign characters such as um, the actual players, but skirmish versions. So your favorite character, if you play in the campaign, you can easily use in the skirmish. It will be a weaker version, of course. Also, the rebels can also get allies. And then we've got the various story missions, both side and main. Um, just like with Hoth, they had a specific image for separating the main story, and then some skirmish cards. So let's get back to the board, um, and see what is up with this. There's a couple extra things in here, generally. This is being a pain. Sorry, folks. Sorry for the run-on also for, more talk than show. I'm felt like explaining a lot of the stuff to the Imperial Assault game, so that more of this makes sense. There we go. uh, Sometimes plastic is a pain. Still being a pain, actually. Just not nearly as much. There. Finally. So, the board is made up of these tile pieces that can join together. They're double-sided, and it makes for a lot of interesting different rearrangements that you can put together. So let's see here. We've got. I don't know what this is actually. This is new. Um, Looks like something. It's got a Imperial script on it. I don't know if that can be seen. I don't. Yeah, my camera won't focus. I'm sorry. Um, but it's generally it looks like something involving bounties. I'm seeing it's not a new condition. There would have been a card for that. Bounties wouldn't surprise me considering it's Jabba. Uh, then we've got more terrain, but then we also have got up in the corner. Uh, these are tokens that can be punched out for models that don't physically exist or don't come with the expansion, but are at not this kind of model. I'll get to these too, but can be bought later and aren't needed to be bought for the campaign because of those tokens. Because they'll still have you'll still have a card for them for the character and stats and everything. There was what looked like multiple um, rebel troops. The not Endor, the forest planet when they were in the forest garb. We've also got Luke in his outfit towards the end of Return of the Jedi, a mounted stormtrooper, and Jabba. Jabba's realm. He's got to be in there somewhere. We've got a token for the droid. This is starting to fall apart, otherwise I'd pick it up. And more terrain tiles, and a token for the little side minion of Jabba's. So let's get on to the minis. That's a base for something pretty big. That's a takes up 6 spaces of something normal size. Even a Wookiee still only takes up 1 spot. There is a Wookiee in the base game for anybody who might be interested. So here's the playable characters. One of them looks like I've got to do some work straightening out a weapon. The playable characters always end up in tan, and then all the Imperial figures end up in gray, actually. Huh. Clear rods. I don't know what those will actually be for. I do know what the big thing actually is, and I'll get to that. Get to the surprise of that. Some of you may have already guessed, but we've got there's various of the pig guards that you see around Jabba's palace. Oh, this one actually has its spear broken already. I'll have to fix that later. There we go. And then we've got the ones that get seen on the skiff. I think it's called the sand, the thing that they have going over the Scarlock pit. And no, I did not notice, but I did not look at both sides, a Scarlock tile. I know what the rods are for. Stormtroopers with jump packs. They're not actually on bases, but, they're flying. They've got bases down here that you would then attach them to. So I'm going to try putting this together real quick. Running short on time. All right, little by little, and hopefully people can guess. Like I said, it should just plug together. I'll do this more thoroughly later so it will actually hold together. And it's a Rancor. Alright everyone, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please like, subscribe if you want to see more. Bye-bye.